Hello, everybody. This is Ian Beckles, and welcome back to In the Trenches. It is the offseason, but our Buccaneers are still alive. They're still undefeated, and life is good. You know, I'm going to try to do this in the trenches as much as I can in the offseason. Not a whole lot going on right now. There's not a whole lot of transactions going on. But the draft is coming up this Thursday. I am not a mock draft person, as I've said many times. You'll never see me do a mock draft. I couldn't care less about somebody's mock draft. I really couldn't. I care about my team, the Buccaneers, and I really do enjoy watching the draft. There's certain things I hate to watch, okay? I love to watch the draft. I love to watch the combine. I can sit there and watch the draft and the combine all day long. And it's not so much about hearing Mel Kiper tell me that he's good at picking, which he's not. It's more about seeing these young kids and their dreams being realized, and the fake hug with Roger Goodell. That's the last time they're going to love him. All little things like that. You know, once again, it's about the dreams coming true. My dream came true, not quite to the same passion as some of these kids in these high rounds, but I got a chance to be drafted. I do a podcast with Derek Brooks and Beckles. We talk about both of our situations. You know, Derek was a first-round pick. I wasn't a first-round pick. I didn't even know if I was going to get drafted. So we were in two different situations, but, you know, the anticipation was pretty much the same. Now, as far as our Buccaneers go, I don't know if they're in a good position or a bad position. I heard Jason Light speaking the other day on their needs, and his answer was, what do we need? We need everything. And he also said that can be good, and I agree. I don't know if the Buccaneers have any glaring needs. Although, when you look at some of the positions, they sure can get better at a lot of positions because they have lost some names, all right? If they don't pick up anybody that starts, they'll survive. We have some okay football players in there. Is it a championship team now? I don't see that, but I see a team that's competing. Obviously, getting Mike Evans re-signed takes care of that number one guy. We have the number one guy. I'm not even going to say Mike Evans, it's time for him to get old, because I've been saying it for 4 years, and maybe I should keep on saying it. I don't know. But Mike Evans doesn't get old. But it's going to happen eventually. All right? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. You know, Chris Godwin, I don't know. I hear rumors of him being elsewhere, and I would hate to see Chris Godwin go somewhere else. I like the kid, the way he plays, makes a lot of money, and you're going to have to figure out a way to be number one, and he will be a number one when Mike steps away, if he's still here. Trey Palmer, okay, an okay number three guy. If you tell me that the Bucs need depth at wide receiver, 100%. And it's one of those things where, what's the biggest need? It's not about one position. You have a draft board. You're going to say, here's our favorite players, and put them in a row. So if the best pass rusher is there, when the Bucs pick them. If the best receiver for that pick is there, pick them. That's the way it goes. Sometimes when you have the fourth pick or the fifth pick in the draft, you need a quarterback, you're going for a quarterback. The Bucs are not in that situation. The Bucs, do they need an offensive lineman? They could probably survive without one. Could they use one? 100%. You know, looking at their situation, obviously Tristan Wirfs got to be re-signed eventually, and, you know, back up the Brinks truck, because that's going to be scary. Those numbers are going to be scary, and he's going to deserve every penny of it. They brought in my boy Sua Opeta from Philadelphia. No, never heard of him before. Looked him up. I think he has 10 starts. So I'm not saying a kid is good or bad or indifferent, because that's not the way offensive line works. A lot of times it's about your system and being able to play to your strengths, okay? If things go well, we run the football, everything's good. But the Sua Opeta guy, he's not really a proven guy. Robert Hainsey, I think, is starting to prove himself. Last year, Cody Mauch, I thought, had a good rookie year. As a rookie, if you make it through the season and you're still starting, and I did that, I thought Cody Mauch played better than I did my rookie year. Started off shaky and then started to get better. You didn't hear his name as much towards the back end of the season. You're going to struggle a little bit as a rookie. That's just going to happen. But I like what I see. And Luke Goedeke, I wouldn't have put a cent on Luke Goedeke last year to be a quality starter, but Luke Goedeke was one of our better offensive linemen last year. So offensive line-wise, we're in a good situation. They're going to pick some depth up. Okay, that's going to happen. Tight end position, Cade Otton, you can live with him. Am I excited about Cade Otton? Not necessarily. Is he to the same level as some of the greats? It's not close, no. I think Cade Otton would be a great number 2 guy. Can you live in him a number 1? We are living with him, all right? And you talk about Keith, and those are just names for me. We got Baker re-signed. Kyle Trask is still around. I still hear his name. And Rachaad White, what you're not going to do is to hear me get excited over running backs in the NFL anymore. Not doing it. They're a dime a dozen. When you see them, they're changing teams. If somebody is that important to your team, you hold on to them. You know, when you're seeing Saquon Barkley going in the same division, now he's an Eagle, it's telling me something. Running backs are just not that important anymore. Rachaad White had a good season last year, solid season. If we can duplicate that one, that's all we ask for. He's not an 1,800-yard rusher. That's not really our system. So do the little things. Do what you did last year. We're going to be fine. Defensively, this is scaring me a little bit defensively because the one thing we did lack last year was a solid pass rusher. We figured out ways to get to the quarterback, whether via blitz or other ways. But when you look at this lineup, Logan Hall, Vita Vea, Kalijah Kancey has a lot of abilities. Okay, I don't know how good he's going to be, but he was a very good rookie. Okay, so we'll see. The second year is a year you develop. Now you got to make sure you stay healthy. That's the thing. I saw his name on the injury list a little bit too much. He missed some time early. But once he got healthy and once I started seeing him play on a consistent basis, I thought Kalijah Kancey was actually a very good football player. And you don't really hear that too much in somebody's rookie year. Now, we lost Shaq Barrett, okay? Shaq had I thought, a solid year for somebody coming off of a major injury. So, Yaya Diaby, who beat out Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, is starting on one side. Now Joe Tryon-Shoyinka's got to start on the other side. I don't want to beat a dead horse. He got benched last year. I said the second I saw the kid play, I go, he can't play. And he got benched last year. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse. The kid can't play. I don't know what else to say. He can't play. We could keep on waiting to see if he can play, and I keep on hearing how great of an athlete he is, but you can't show me one play where he's great, does anything great athletically. But I can show you some plays where he looks very, very, very non-football-like. And athletic ability is great in the combine, but it doesn't do me no good on the football field. And Joe Tryon-Shoyinka hasn't done me any good on the football field. Listen, I want the kid to be good. He's just not good right now, unfortunately. Defensive backfield, you know, obviously Antoine Winfield Jr. is the man, okay? There's not much more to say about that. I like what I saw with Zion McCollum a little bit towards the end of the season. Jordan Whitehead being back, I think, is just a big acquisition. I like the kid. I hated to lose him. Jamel Dean is back, who was up and down. And we could use some depth there, okay? To me, defense is really predicated on the pass rush. But you have to have some defensive backs back there. We had some people, Carlton Davis. I know some people thought losing Carlton Davis was a big deal. I don't. I just think Carlton Davis was a big salary. Didn't think he did a whole lot to warrant that money. So they'll be fine without Carlton Davis. And Jake Camarda and McLaughlin, we're in good hands with our special teams. Pretty much we have the same systems coming back. We have the same coaches coming back for the most part, other than the offensive coordinator. So there's not going to be a lot of changes here. And like I said on previous podcasts, I don't know if this is a Super Bowl team, but this is a team that should compete. And I think what we saw from Baker Mayfield last year, if Baker Mayfield plays exactly the way he played last year, I think the Bucs are in good hands. Now, that's not an easy thing now. I thought Baker played his ass off. And I don't know if he's getting enough credit for how he played last year. Well, yeah, he is. He got paid a lot of money. But now, if you play the same way you played last year, are we going to say he overachieved because he's making a lot more money? Probably making 5 times the money. That means that somebody couldn't get that money, and that means you got to play better. That's the long and short of it. But it's draft time. I think it's a fun time. I'll be watching it. It's on ABC, ESPN, NBC, TNT, Nickelodeon. It's everywhere. I remember when I was in the draft, it was like on, it might have been just ESPN for a minute, and that was it. If you love the draft, it's out there for everybody. I'm a draft lover. I'll be watching it with a bucket of popcorn and enjoying it. If anybody ever want to hit me up on Instagram, Ian_Beckles. Make sure you listen to Brooks and Beckles as well. And come over here by the Dignitary Cafe and have some coffee or kava or kratom or something like that, 4817 West Shore Boulevard. Everybody have a wonderful week, and please stay out of trouble. Peace out.